Hey, Tim Frisch with a Frisch Perspective, bringing you analysis, reviews, and fun from a Christian nerd's point of view. Today I wanted to talk about a subject that just came to my mind recently, where I was thinking about how in America right now we really, in many ways, economically and in other ways, are doing really well as a country. And you would think that when things are going well, people would be happier and things would be more peaceful as a society. But as you've noticed, that's not really the case. Actually, as things get better, in some ways, internally, things can get worse. And I've noticed that's kind of reflective on a large scale how we are in our own lives, isn't it? And it made me think of a book that I was listening to recently by Charles Dickens, the book Great Expectations. And in that book, the main character, Pip, is a poor boy, but he comes into some money that someone gives for him to advance economically. And you would think that when he receives that money that things would really get better for him, but he talks about really how miserable and unhappy he is. Even though he has this money, there's still a lot of things in his life that aren't the way he wants them to be. He's really discontent in many ways. Well, he ends up toward the end of the book losing that income, and it actually brings him through that trouble to a place of coming to terms with who he is and what he's done in his life and really the way he's behaved and his soul. And as he reflects on his soul and his attitudes, he really has a change of heart, and that's kind of how the book concludes, is the change that he experiences. And so it's really it's a reminder to me of kind of what we're facing as a country. And here's the thought that I really wanted to share, that money is never going to solve our problems. Money and riches and wealth are not the answer. In many ways, they can just exacerbate the problems that we have. It reminded me of a story that I've read in the Bible that has to do with something that happened with Jesus. And I'll read it for you. It says, "Someone from the crowd said to him," Jesus, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me." "Friend," he said to him, "who appointed me a judge or an arbitrator over you?" He then told them, "Watch out and be on guard against all greed, because one's life is not in the abundance of his possessions." Then he told them a parable. A rich man's land was very productive. He thought to himself, "What should I do, since I don't have anywhere to store my crops?" "I will do this," he said. "I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones and store all my grain and my goods there. And then I'll say to myself, you have many goods stored up for many years. Take it easy. Eat, drink, and enjoy yourself." But God said to him, "You fool, this very night your life is demanded of you, and the things you have prepared, whose will they be?" That's how it is with the one who stores up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. So what really Jesus is talking about here is this man comes to him and says, "I want to have the inheritance divided with my brother." And Jesus essentially just responds with this story to say, riches are not the most important thing. The most important thing is your soul and what your life is like before God. So I really, just in thinking about all this, wanted to share that I feel like at this point in America's history, what's really at stake is our soul. We are going through so many things as a nation, and even though so much economically is going well, even though so much is going our way, even though we have so many riches and everybody is getting so much physically, we're really, in our souls, very much in need. And so I just wanted to share those thoughts with you because I think it's so important. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this subject and start a little dialogue in the comments section. So thank you so much for listening to my thoughts on this issue from a Frisch perspective.